working artist and professor at the Universitat Oberta de Catalunya, if I can attempt a Catalan accent, having been formerly long-time faculty at the School of Design in Palma in Spain, and he is a long-time friend of the Oxford Symposium. Harold is going to talk about the school library and his wonderful books, which are so interesting to us as adjunctive and preventive strategies in school-based family counseling. Harold, over to you.
Thank you very much, Peter, and hello to everybody. Can you hear me well?
No, not well. You're very faint.
Oh my God. How is it now?
Better. Yeah.
Okay. So maybe I have to yell to be heard, but that could be fine. So I'm very happy to be here. I'm very pleased that you are still connected and want to stay in this presentation. I'm probably a little bit different from your background because I don't work directly with children, but children is my target group for what I do, for my profession, because I'm mainly an author and illustrator for children books. As Peter said, I'm also a professor at the University Oberta de Catalunya, which is a university in Catalonia, Spain. And I teach drawing for aspiring graphic designers and artists. And I think I can start sharing one of my windows. Oops. What is it? I'm just trying to share my screen. What is it? What is it? Oh, here.
It's at the yeah.
Okay. Can you see it now?
Yes.
Okay, well, this is like the first slide. I'm here with many of my characters because I live in this, well, I pretend that I live in this fantastic world that I forget about all the stress and problems that we have, and I just live inside this fantastic world. I want to say some things about myself and my work is that my books are published in more than 10 languages. I have published more than 60 books around the world. And some of the books I'm going to present today are in English. Some of them are not yet. So maybe one of you are acquaintance with a publishing house, and maybe you can make me a deal for publishing one of the books in any of your countries or languages. That will be very good. And you will get a fantastic commission for that. Okay, let's start. And I do presentation. This is a presentation I did in Zaragoza, Spain, I think 2 months ago. I also using this as an introduction to my Instagram profile, which is Canizales Books. You can see it here.
Are you able to make your screen bigger, Harold? It's a little difficult to see.
Okay, let me just do it maximum. Oops. Is it better now?
No, but that's okay.
Yes. Yes.
I think that's the maximum I can
It's
do.
Full screen for me.
Okay.
Yes. So Canizales Books is my Instagram profile, and I'm going to use it because in that platform I get feedback from professionals who work with children, either at schools or counseling. So many people share their thoughts on my books, and also very interesting ways they use the books for helping children. So I'm going to start with this book, which is called Pretty. I also have it in here. I don't know if I can switch between maximizing the screen I'm in or the other screen, but let's see. So Pretty has a very exciting topic, because in today's world, we know that we get a lot of pressure to change our appearance, to be prettier, or to stop being ugly. So um, I live in Spain, but I'm originally from Colombia. So Colombia is one of the most important destinations for many things. One of them is plastic surgery. So every time I go to Colombia, I see impossible bodies and faces. And the troubling thing is that this is getting like normalized. So boys and girls think that this is a normal procedure they have followed just to be prettier. For example, in the quinceañera party, the girls used to ask for a big party or for a trip to Miami or something like that. But now they ask for getting a procedure in her face, in her body, or also the kids. So I thought, well, I have to do something. So I thought I have to make a book that it is some sort of an antidote to that. So before they get all this pressure, they can have like a strong sense of self-confidence, and understand how you can get lost when you follow so many sources of pressure in changing yourself. So in this book, I'm just going to show you the story very briefly. Can I make this screen when I'm speaking bigger or not? Okay, anyway. So in this story, the witch has a date to meet this person, which is the troll or ogre, and she is very excited. So she gets ready, but when she's on her way, she meets some animals, for example, the squirrel. And the squirrel says, "Oh, are you going to go to a meeting, to a date with that hunchback? Why don't you get your magic wand and make it straight so you will be prettier?" So she thinks a little bit and say, okay, whatever. So she does, and now she has like a straight spine. But now the rabbit says, "Oh, you're going to a date with that nose that looks like a potato. Why don't you make it smaller?" So she does. And then she meets another animal who says, "Oh, look at that very pointed chin." And then it happens again. So she keeps changing herself. And even the mouse says, "Oh, why don't you make your hair?" Uh, I like his words. Whatever. "Why don't you make your hair softer and brighter and in a lighter color?" So finally, this is the witch that goes to the meeting with the troll. And when she's there, the troll says, "Oh, excuse me, who are you? I'm waiting for somebody. Can you please move away?" She says, "Well, I'm the witch. It's just as the mouse, the squirrel, the fox, and the rabbit told me I will be prettier this way." He says, "No, you don't fool me. The witch has a pointed chin, has a big nose, has a hunchback, and she has also wavy hair. So she looks at herself in the mirror and she is just horrified how much she has changed, and she doesn't recognize herself. So she is really scared, and the troll, well, he just goes. So she decides to go back to her original appearance, and then she's happy again, and she's thinking about how she got so lost, and she thinks, oh wow, what animals, what little animals. But finally she's having a date with the troll. So she's having a picnic with him. She's very happy. She has made a fantastic meal, and she's asking to the troll, oh, do you like this picnic? And he says, oh yes, this everything is delicious. What did you put in it? And she says, well, I just put a little bit of rabbit, a little bit of mouse, a squirrel, and fox. So this is the story of Pretty. Is a book with a little bit of dark humor, and it has been translated in many languages: in English, in Spanish, in Italian, in Portuguese, in French, in Greek, in German. And this book has won 3 prizes. 1 prize in Spain, another prize in the United States, and I just been told 2 days ago from my German publisher that it has won a prize in the German language translation. And also in Germany, now there is a play in preparation, so it will be on a stage soon. And I'm now sharing this picture because this is a teacher who is showing me how she has used this book for working with their children. I'm going to try to share. Can I share another window? Is that possible? Or I have to stop sharing one to show another window?
Yeah, you have to stop and then share.
Oh, okay, one
another
second.
window.
If viewers are watching side by side speaker, they see both his screen and a close-up of his face.
I'm just trying to go online to show this some more images of the way this teacher shows us this. So let me see if I can stop this sharing this screen and start sharing the other screen, but it's because probably I'm in full screen here. So here. Okay, now I'm going to compartir pantalla and share this one. Oh, no, that's not. I'm so sorry. Oh, it is this one. Okay. So this is her Instagram. You can actually see the teacher here, and she's sharing the book here, and this is her children. And now in this picture, she put some small mirrors. So each child is looking at herself or himself in the mirror. And also part of the exploration is to make a drawing of yourself through the mirror. So you can keep looking at yourself and you make a drawing on the reflection. And these are some of the picture. So this is a very interesting way of recognition. So you can understand what are your features, what gives you this identity, and then you can understand what makes you pretty. So for instance, this is the teacher's drawing, and here we can see how she's doing the drawing on her reflection. And here we can also see what she did with all the small mirrors and all the drawings. So she made this big guapa, which means pretty in Spanish. And this was made in the 8th of March, which is the Women's Day. So she also has here this other picture. And also we can see a little bit more of the classroom. Okay, let's go back to, oops, here. Okay, this one. Sorry, it's a little bit confusing changing from one screen from the other. I understand that this presentation probably is going to be available for you. So what I have here is more windows, and you also have the links. So if you click on them, you can go online and check some other things, like this is a presentation I made online with a school telling the story. Some articles that have been published on the newspapers about it, and also some other experiences from other teachers. And now I'm going to another book, which is called The Page Above. And this book, these books helps to address two very difficult topics. And this is my most recent book. This was published this year in April 2021. And this book has been published in English and in Spanish. In Spanish, it's called La Página de Arriba. And basically, this is a different book because you open it vertically. So when you open a book this way, you have one page on top and one page on the bottom, and this is the page above. So basically, this book helps children to understand things like structures of power, or different structures in which there are one or more people on top or above, and many other people below. And these people serve the people on top. So in this case, the elephant is making an orange juice for the lion who lives on top. And also he is holding the lion so he doesn't fall from the page on top to the bottom, because he wants to be on top. And then there are some other animals. So for instance, the cow is making cheese for the lion, and also the hen is making eggs for the lion, and the elephant is giving everything to the lion. The lion doesn't care much about the people below. For example, you can see here how he's hitting the elephant with the orange juice glass. And then the hummingbird is very upset because she doesn't like this situation, and she's very upset. So actually what she does is saying, why don't we turn this book around? So when you're reading the book, you have to do this action to actually continuing with the book. So it changes the situation. Now the lion is below and all the animals are on top, and the lion is saying, oh, this is a mistake. This is not supposed to be here. Let's change all this. But actually now they are like, oh, this is nice. It's nice to be on top. It's nice to be served by you. And they start being demanding. So now when they are behaving a little bit like the lion was behaving before. So again, the hummingbird says, Well, I don't think being on top is right or being below is right. Why don't you, we turn the book again and we all get on the same spread. And now they are at the same level. And it seems that everything is all right. But actually, in the end, the lion says, oh, you know what? This side of the book is actually better. Why don't you give me another orange juice, please? All the animals are like saying, you haven't learned anything here. So, so this book has been getting a lot of attention from different sources. For example, it has been in this first image you can see on top. It has been featured in one of the most important newspapers here in Spain, which is called El País. Is one they only give like 3 recommendations of books for the summer, and they include this book for as one of of them. And also we have another picture from a teacher, children's teacher, who says that these books helps her to teach children about empathy, so they can understand how others feel about the things you do, and they can keep changing the roles and seeing how can, and also they can understand the power they have to change situations if they work together, and also they understand that power could contaminate everybody. So when you get some power, maybe you forget when you didn't have it and you start behaving differently. So this is a book that
5
helps.
minutes, Harold.
Oh my God, already? Okay, so let's move on. This is another book. This is called Big, and this is a book that helps children to understand that at the present they are very small. For example, here Petra, this little stone, wants to be big, but all the animals says, "Oh, you're too small. We cannot be friends. Why don't you go and do stone things?" Because she's a stone. So she is very sad. And then in the end, we discover that she is not a stone. She's actually a seed. And in the end, she grows very, 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 very big. And in the end, she is actually bigger than all the other animals. And all the animals are like, "Oh, do you remember me?" And she's in the end, she says, "Yes, because I'm always have been big." And I also have here some way people use this book as a way to teach self-esteem. And also this other link is because there is a platform called Fabulingua, and they have this book also to teach English and Spanish. This book, You're Living, is about migration. It's a very hard topic for children, and it's very a common topic today. So in this book, we see all the different feelings that you get when you have to face moving to a different place and uh, having people left behind. This, and also some links. This is another book which is called Stepsister, and it basically uses the Cinderella story. It never said it's Cinderella, but we can see 2 female characters. One is very focused in all the beauty procedures, and the other one is not interested in that, but in growing herself and doing projects to help other people. So basically, the prince here can see the difference, and he chooses differently this time. But anyway, the stepsister is not interested in getting married to a prince. She doesn't know. And also, some ways people use this book to help children. There are also these new versions of the classic tales in which the princesses, don't wait to be saved by a prince. Instead, they have their own lives, and they are actually telling the story from their point of view. I also have some books for smaller children. This has been used to teach children about how to eat healthily and also to understand colors and textures. I'm just going to show you a little bit of it. In English, it's called Nyami. So what we have here is, would you like a muffin? And the children says, well, no, I actually want a strawberry. So in each page, you have a die cut. For example, do you want candy? No, I'd rather have a pineapple. Or do you have a sundae? Want a sundae? No, I prefer grapes. So this book switches between a sweet and then fruit. And this is for smaller children. And this is also another book about a similar topic about eating healthily. This is another collection that was featured in the University of Catalonia. This is a collection of books that addresses different topics like, I don't know the word in English for this, when children just yell and cry, or when they think that they don't have enough talent to do what they want and they just have to be spectators and things like that. Also, there are some other books that you can just check on the links, because we are...
Harold, I'm sure there are questions for you.
Okay.
Would you take questions now?
Yes, yes. I just want to say something to finish. This is a collection which is for each book is about one different emotion. So this is like a rainbow of emotions. And I just wanted to say that on my website, which is canizales.eu, I have many of the books. I have to update it because there are so many books that are not in the website yet. And I also have a contact section, so you can contact me. And I also offer creative accessory, so for everybody, for art or for writing. So more or less that's it. So now I can answer the questions.
So now I need to, what do I need to do? I need to look at the participants and see who has their hand raised. So Brian, you have your hand raised.
Yes.
Do you have a question for Harold?
Well, I have a comment, really. Thank you, Harold, for this absolutely brilliant presentation of really bibliotherapy with children. And your books are so creative, and it's so evident how it would be helpful to a child to read one of these books. As a matter of fact, I got a mirror right after watching Pretty. But it's not generally known amongst mental health professionals that there's been a fairly large number of randomized control group studies demonstrating that bibliotherapy, just for adults who are depressed or anxious, is as effective as seeing a therapist. I was shocked at that result because I thought, no, in person is better. It is not. Bibliotherapy can be as good. And so bibliotherapy with children, which is how I think of what you have done, Harold, is just great. And it's something we all need to know more about because we work with children.
Thank you, Brian. Yes, I think it's very helpful to use books for children.
Sadia has a question.
And Helen has a question.
You're muted, Sadia.
Or Helen.
Okay.
So
what I was going to just say, I think the books are especially good for dialogue and critical reflection of children. A lot of the times we just use books to tell stories, but books that have a way of engaging in dialogue. And I think the first one you did, the power relationships, I think there were so many issues of class and power infused in these. And to have that kind of conversation, especially right now in our country, in the USA, because there's such inequality, and the progressive politicians and candidates speak about this a lot, about taxing the rich, but others just ignore it, like, too bad. But I think those books really motivate engaging in that kind of dialogue. Thank you.
Thank you. And I also think that sometimes you think, how can I going to talk about these very difficult topics to children, like politics, or like the pressure about changing your appearance with plastic surgery? It's like, and then those are like the challenges I put myself in to do something that is fun, engaging, but in the end, you also, if you don't completely understand it, the children can get at least a feeling that will help them when they grow their mind to understand more complex topics.
Right. Do you happen to know a book? It's in Spanish. It was published in Spain, called Clementina.
Maybe, but the name doesn't ring a bell.
Okay, it's about two turtles who meet in a pond and fall in love. And the woman turtle wants to do she wants to learn how to paint. She wants to learn how to play music. And instead, the other turtle keeps bringing her paintings to tie onto her back, or a Victrola to tie onto her back, until her collection is so high that she can't move. But just looking at what she really wants with herself, but the other turtle is just bringing it in material terms. I think it would be a great one to add to your collection. I'll send you a link.
Yes, I'm writing down the name, Clementina.
Yeah.
Interesting, thank you.
Helen.
Is it my turn? Okay.
Yeah.
I just want to thank you for this important work that you're doing, and that you are hitting on all the social issues that children need to learn as they get older. One of the things that I want to really compliment you is on this Prince Charming rescuing the princess that we all grew up with, like Cinderella, Snow White, and all girls think there's going to be somebody who's going to make them happy. And then the reality of life sinks in, and it gets them emotionally upset. And we're not preparing kids for the reality. And so I just kind of, see it at work, and how you're trying to, have an impact, because what kids see when they're young, and what they read, and what they're exposed to, it really creates the worldview around them. And that's the expectations, and they live their life with that. And to change the story about not rescuing, like Prince Charming is not going to be rescuing the princess. It's a change in how we talk about the role of a girl in society, right? And so it's so important, and thank you. And I will share your website with all the colleagues who I work with, because they do work with kids, and they, we use books to work with kids all the time. So thank you.
Thank you very much. And I agree with you, because I'm a boy, but I have a sister, and I have cousins who are females, and we all grow up with what we can call the Disney princesses syndrome, or something like that, believing all those ideals that if you are the most beautiful, or you are the most quiet, or if you change your voice for having legs to meet a prince, then the prince will fall in love with you, and then you will be happy. So I actually create this collection because I thought, well, I have to do something about it, because these very powerful characters, they really have something to tell. And I decided, well, let's make them tell the story and lets them kids understand that they actually did have another goals in their life, and they don't marry princes here in these books.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you.
So there's one more hand, and that's Gertina, and then we will ask Caroline to close us out.
Okay, I'll be quick. Thank you, Harold. This was really very interesting. And I love the fact, as Helen said, that you make it real, like in real life, that it is not just about the fantasy of the fairy tales we grew up with. But where I am in South Africa, and maybe in other countries as well, we are confronted by a social issue, which is in some cases called racism. The fact that there are people of different races and that people are considered inferior just because their skin color is different. Incidentally, I have my grandchildren are of different races, if you want to call it. And one of the things that we try to establish with them is that the color of your skin is not what makes you intelligent or what makes you talented or what makes you special, but that you as a person makes you special. So I hope that you might be able to give us a book in the near future on the concept of how the many skin colors bring us together as a human race, not as different people that are not that have uniqueness outside of our skin color. Our skin color is just what it is. It's genetic. It's not what we are. So I hope you can bring us that.
Oh, thank you very much, Gertina. I think that is a very good suggestion, and I already have some projects working on that direction, but all what you said is going to help me in achieving something very nice. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Caroline, hello.
Hi there. Hi, Harold.
Hi.
My name is Caroline, and I'm an art psychotherapist. And I use books and art and paint and anything all the time. So I completely really loved what you have to say. And I do know a publisher, so I will see what I can do. A children's publisher. I was thinking about your talk. I wrote things down because I can't remember anything otherwise. And I love what you said about you inhabit the characters. And I think with kids, if you spark their imagination with, using non-verbal images, which is what you're doing, although you're attaching words with the right age group, you spark their imagination, you help them receive a message that a lecture or a talk won't do. It goes into themselves. They learn it intrinsically. And I was thinking about Borges's library. I don't know if you've read the Library of Babel.
What is the name again?
Luis Borges.
Borders.
And Borges. He's a South American writer. He's dead, but he wrote a book called The Invisible Library. It's the Library of Babel.
You mean Borges? Oh,
Borges.
yes.
Borges.
Yeah, that's him.
Yes.
And I was thinking about, because he lost one of his senses, and children, when they're little, use their senses, but not all of them are able to reach them for developmental reasons, emotional reasons. He used his imagination, and he had this infinite library, this infinite imagination, and that's what I try and help kids to reach when they're looking at books like this, or any book, to look into their imagination and have a sense of authority for themselves. And I wrote down something which is probably very controversial, but because you touched on themes of change and diversity and humor and the permission to be yourself. And with the work I do with children and teenagers, I think the internet has become the maternal, external, paternal figure now. That if you look at Winnicott and the mirroring, now the internet is so powerful that the kids as 7, 8, 9, 10 are so challenged about what's authentic, how they can be authentic. There are a lot of prophesizing on the internet about how to be authentic, but they're not interesting messages. They're not the sort of messages you're giving, which is quite simple, and it's thematic, and it's diversity and honesty and what else? I don't know. And I'm very, very excited about you winning a prize and doing your play, because congratulations. It was really, really inspiring. And a book that I work with the children a lot about courage to be yourself, which is a very old-fashioned book. It's written in the 30s. Is called Ferdinand the Bull, which is actually in Spanish. It's an English book, but it's, I don't know. It's an English book about being a bull who has to be a bullfighter, but he doesn't want to be a bullfighter. And at the end, he's authentic. And that book, not dissimilar to this, is the kids love it because they just say, oh, well, he doesn't have to speak if he doesn't want to. He doesn't have to be a bullfighter. Fantastic. Really inspirational talk. Thank you. Really, congratulations.
Thank you, Caroline.
Good luck with everything. And I will contact Peter.